Oh, babies, you ain't gonna believe this. It's another exciting news break, a news flash here on the Coyote News Netrawk. Hell, babies, we rock, they talk. Here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network, of which the Coyote Netrock News, or News Netrock, I should say, is underway right now. Special feature, wouldn't you say? Yes, indeedy. Well, here's the news today. Now, we've noticed these old spider webs in the sky, whatever cause they might be. You know, there's some kind of cosmic mystery going on up there in the air above us now. And as we take our little spaceship up there to take a look around, ooh, the sense of time kind of comes unwound. And look what we found. We go back to 1949. Oh, my goodness, that was a moment that was really kind of, as we say, undivine. You see, there was this military madness. It just wasn't sated by World War II, wasn't happy, needed more to do, you know. So it created like kind of an illusion of this Nazi empire still having a presence on this earth. Only it was hidden away not only in South America, of course, you know, but down there in Antarctica too. They had a special little base, man. And they had these special little spaceships, you know. What did they call them things? The German Bell or something like that. But they could fly around in those things, and they'd learn to weaponize them a little bit, you know. And then along comes this admiral, you know, a few years before that, a couple of years before that. He wants to check out that action. He brings half the fleet with him and a whole bunch of foot soldiers, too. They aim to do something down there, only they never got there. He got turned around, lost a couple of ships in the process somehow. You know, we don't talk about that now, but, you know, if you want to know about that, that's news you can use over there. Just check out Admiral Byrd on the YouTube or on the news channels and see what you find, man. He left a confession before he left this profession we call life. So, well, there's more to this story than meets the eye, of course. And there's been rumors about this for quite some time. But back in 1949, a time quite undivine, we got some vision from here, and we can see it clear. They're nuking that sucker, aren't they, dear? They're trying to blow that illusionary little Nazi empire out of the water, you know, and just, you know, out of the ice, actually. Ooh, but something happened there, you know, that we've been paying for ever since. And it's kind of an explanation why there's so much haze in the atmosphere these days. See, there's certain interests here that thought, well, we don't want the people to see this one clear. The Arctic ice melting, you know, that's not Arctic, that's Antarctic, I should say. Little typo there in my plain paper here, you know, talking head, got to get it right now, come on, let's take flight, spread them wings. There you go, there you go. Actually, I'm reading this off my grocery list, but it's all crossed out, we got it all already. Far out, man. So that started the process when they nuked Antarctica, and it's... well, babies, you don't have to look far to find out, because there are whistleblowers coming out, man. And this started a process, a warming. You call it a global warming, but it started evaporating certain elements in the atmosphere that were there. Now, understand the holographic nature of our reality, so everything is correctable. Don't panic, okay? Don't you know? But anyway, that started a process, and this is when the ozone began going away, and a few other elements that would just say, let a lot more UV in, And so they say, ooh, we better do something about that, you know, as they realize it 30, 40 years later. Maybe it was 50, I don't know, before they started to catch on to the real song of what they'd started down there. Because, man, not only did the globe go up 2 or 3 degrees, ooh, the sun started getting brighter and brighter, and I don't know, it seemed like, wow, they detected a little roll in the Earth's atmosphere, a little roll on her axis, maybe, dear, you know. It was tiny back then, you really couldn't detect it unless you were really a sky watcher that knew just exactly where everything should be and noticed that it moved a notch or 2 or 3. Yes, indeedy. Back in, about 52, that was the effect when it started to show through. But it's been a real slow process ever since then. But it's much more than global warming, I tell you. You see, as we rise up in our spaceship love, we can see it clearly, baby. They started a cycle, a degenerative cycle with their little weapons. But what they didn't realize, they're degenerating not atmosphere, not earth. They're degenerating themselves of the wickedness and cruelty and the coldness they've held in their heart for so long as to think they could ever drop an atomic bomb. Do you think with any respect for ourselves we'd ever allow that to happen here again? Knowing our history, knowing our past, knowing that we've had that kind of blast before, we don't need it again. And funny thing, back then too, in the Atlantean days, all of the trouble began down there Antarctica ways, or what we call Antarctica now. It's a beautiful continent. It wasn't so frozen then. Just like you're going to find out now. See, that's why they're covering it up. Another reason, of course. Try to slow down the fire that they started, so the earth don't burn up in the atmosphere, go away, you know. Or people don't get to see what's really happening in Antarctica, man, that little place down, especially West Antarctica, man. Ooh, old glaciers have been there forever, are gone now. I mean, completely gone. There's bare ground there, but ooh, as this stuff melts away, you see, Earth is tipped on her axis to encourage the process. She's ready for a change, a shift, a new paradigm. See, this is what they didn't realize when they committed their act so undivine as to nuke the heart, the frozen heart at the time of this Mother Earth. They gave her new birth. They began to rearrange the molecular structure. Oh, I'm going to have to take diction lesson now of our true reality, baby. Yes, indeed, so that they couldn't continue in the illusion anymore. And it's funny as this Arctic ice is melting away and the ocean levels are coming out to play. Nobody's talking about it much today, you know. And if they do, they speak of it as a disaster. But babies, we're just washing away. We're cleaning up our act here. Getting ready, you know, just like you go take a shower before you go immerse yourself in the baptismal waters of love, whatever form that takes, you know. Well, babies, the same way. We're getting ourselves all cleaned up and ready for this immersion. And this is an immersion in a whole new reality. And that's what was began back there with quite a bit of finality, you know. They were afraid they might set the earth on fire, but at the same time, the Nazis had made themselves known with their little bell houses flying over the White House, etc. And they weren't into bargaining too much. They were making demands on our secret, shadowy ways, and our government said, well, I guess we got to play. But they did try to stop it. You got to give them that much credit, even if they were insanely out of their minds. You see, but it all works in a bigger flow, a larger flow, don't you know? So we know, you know, in advance there's going to be all this abject cruelty. And how do we know that? Well, we've been in the future and the past. We've been in many future timelines. We know where it can go from here, so we know how to direct it now, dear. But we had to come back in here, this time frame of now, to do it, and how? And not even know that's what we were up to until about now. That's the news you can use right there, let me tell you. That's why we're here. It's all about energy, radiance, and resonance. It's about awakening now to your own personal truth. You've always known this. It's a secret held deeply in your heart and surrounded by a lot of doubt, you know, but you've always known this. That you were here as an agent of change, an angelic presence more or less. You may not have seen it that way, but that's the truth. Archangels, no less. And I don't care what they say about the Catholic way. Archangels are the top of the heap, really. I mean, you know, because they've been supremely seasoned by stuff even worse than what we've gone through here, believe it or not. That's why we can get it so clear. We've got the ancientness of all time and the seasoning of all creation within us. As we do what the earth do, we turn our fanny to the sun and we absorb into that one. Because that's where we come from. That's who we are. Children of the sun. Yeah, we're called star children too. Because we're made of the star, but the stars are all made of the sun. You see. The flaming ball in this reality is really one, and it ain't flaming. It's brilliant. The fire is the illusion. And so is the degeneration started by the atomic weaponry being unleashed. In a useless sort of way, I might add. Because obviously the Nazis took over a little bit here, a little bit there, haven't they? We're starting to see it here, dear. But see now, because we're rising high where you can't hide anything, we can see right through you and see right to you. Well, guess what, babies? You're cruising right into it with us, and we're not leaving you behind. You know, the Nazi Empire, of course, was an illusion. A grand one at that, but an illusion. You've been played with by the angels of time, baby. All of us. In a way quite divine. We've used coyote medicine through and through in this reality to bring it all back to you so that you can personally remember what's really going on here and step right into it, dear. That's the news you can use here on the Coyote News Network. It's beautiful Free Day Friday, babies, as we're cruising through in our UFO, too, baby. Maybe you've seen those strange lights over Slovenia over there. There's reports of strange lights over there right now, man, in the sky, buzzing around. I think that's you and I on our way to the Bosnian Pyramid, or maybe we just like hanging around over there by Lavinia. We're just trying to find that place to land and go pay a little visit to the people quite grand, the people of the heart that have held the promised land in that heart all this time. That's what loving you is all about. Loving you being in a little heart-shaped country. It's near Slovenia. It's also near Italy, you know. It's right in that general neighborhood between the Alps and the Mediterranean, you know. Got a heart-shaped valley, a heart-shaped country with a nice river of life flowing down the center of it. We might see something like that down in Antarctica here pretty soon, no matter how much they spray the atmosphere, dear. It's all coming clear. Mother Earth don't want you to miss out on the action. So she'll give you the traction, the vision, the reality. There's no way to hide it anymore, don't you see? Because we've risen up so high today on this Free Day Friday. And here's another little toke to help you along the way of the sweet Herb Mary J., who is our friend, companion, lover, wife, life, husband, and everything else that goes with it, man. The family, too, man. It's all in the family tree. That's what marijuana symbolized here for ye. Didn't you know that? Look at how it grows, man. It's the tree of life. Or a replication thereof. And therefore has that sacred energy in it. And that's why a little toke done with respect gets you to genuflect to your own heart and start to see the vision clear of what's really going on here, dear. That's what the Coyote News Netrawk is all about. We're rocking the reality with even more fatality, than ever the nuke bombs could ever be, man. But it's a fatalism that brings cradleism, man, and gets us nurtured right back to the blossoming aspects of life, realizing we're just in the budding stages now, man. But the blossom grows as you root it down, don't you know? Don't be afraid, man. Don't have any fear. It's all coming clear, dear. Just step out of your own way, and you'll be out there in the sunlight to play forever, because you are the sun. Each and every one. The star of your own personal movie. Your real universe, man. Universal pictures and then some. You live right in it, baby. And now you dissolve your real character back into being, man. Wow, and talk about resolution. See, and Earth's doing the same thing. And she'll continue turning on her axis a little more till Antarctica's pointed right into the sun. And the sun and her become one. And of course they're brilliant children too. What else could we do but go along with Mama? I mean, she's our source, our nurturing essence, the aliveness of creation inside of each and every heart that lives. How can it get any better than this? Well, just wait and see, because we've just begun, man. Ooh. Ooh, babies, in each one of us. Ooh. We don't get frightened in the sun. We come back to life. Let go of the illusion of fear, and you'll see it clear. So says Grandpa. Like from the and put an end to all this silly strife, don't you know? Yes, indeedy, here on the Coyote Medicine Show, helping you get it in the flow early in the day as we get your day underway in the right sort of way. Today we've been cruising along in our spaceship love, taking a look at the deeper proportions of life and what's really going on here and the higher flight in which we all unite. And babies, you're starting to get it, and so's everyone else too, because if it's come to life in you, then it's in others too, baby. It's automatic, it's magic as all get out. And it ain't tragic in the least, baby. It's the rockin'est thing there could ever be. So, baby, you know, don't take yourself with the burden. I was wrong, and I just can't live without you. Instead of that, say, wow. We all screw up, babies. Let's get on with it. Don't burden yourself with the shame of it. Don't live in that space anymore. That's the illusion, don't you know? It's designed to keep you slow and retarded. You like being that way? I don't. I like dancing. I like being free. I like being wordy and full of life and love for everyone and everything. It can change things in this life for real purposes, and you'll be challenged greatly as this love arises, to see the real surprises right before your eyes as you dissolve away the illusion of hate. Yeah, you might have to get in a moment or two and be in the frustrate, yeah, but baby, it doesn't take long. And you'll be singing that heart song, just like the Antarctic wave, man, which is melting away down there, and rapidly so, to reveal what? Ooh, maybe a little city of light down there or something like that. Wouldn't know, but I tell you what, baby, it's a real medicine show in this life, and we're getting on the glow. Along with that, a radiant harmonic that comes alive inside the pyramidic structures all across this earth. It's a regenerative time, babies. We're all coming back to the divine, each one on our own path, but babies, every path leads to that center heart, and we're all rooted in that. So there's a magnetism that's been growing from the southern part of this old earth, as we call it, you know, the Antarctica. That magic little continent's been sheathed in ice for what seemed like forever. Well, parts of it weren't, but a lot of it was. And since we sailed over it in our spaceship love, gave a clear to the atmosphere down there, what do we see, dear? Yeah, and babies, it'll be all over the internet pretty quick. There'll be some pictures. There'll be some reality to it, some truth. But this magnetic love, it's a wave, you know, as we often call it, a tidal wave of love, you know, because we dammed up our heart for a while. So we tricked some silly beans into warming it up a bit back in 1949, which began the changes. Instead of going the way of the Atlantean ones when they messed around down there under the sun and got themselves burnt real good and drowned real bad. But down with that and up with this right now. You see, we don't live in the Atlantean days. We don't live in Lemuria. We don't live in the Garden of Eden either. You know, we live in paradise, baby. And now we're just revealing our truth to ourselves, 'cause it's time. And that puts away all that's undivine here. You wouldn't believe the moves going on in the background. I know many of you are aware. And, you know, some have approached it less than cosmically, but they still have the sincere intention in their heart of making it right for everyone, you see. But as these pyramids awaken, as this energetic pole from the magnetic center of life, which is Antarctica, starts to bring us back to life. Well, darlings, there's only going to be so much of that we're going to need along the way. I hate to say, but I do love it. Because love comes out to play, and that's our reality. And in such a state, we're compassionate with every heart we come across. And such harsh expressions of nuclear love will never be seen again. It's always expansive. It's always growing, of course. And it is kind of explosive in a quiet sort of way. When you get it clear, which you're doing right now, dear, we're on our way. And there ain't no stopping us now. And we realize we've been here already, that we always knew this moment would come because we were already living in it. We're sitting there at the finish line waiting for ourselves to catch up with it. Isn't that awesome? Gosh, I tell you, the magic in this life, the poetry of coyote medicine, the joke, The fun little tricky joke that we play on ourselves all the time to push ourselves, move ourselves more like, because we really can't push or pull, but to move ourselves we can do. So there's a lot of trickery going on right now in this reality. Oh my God, it is so coyote. But see, you're being called to let go of everything you felt of as real, and to accept this new zeal that you feel inside your heart, and to go with that flow. Which brings you home to the Hazy Radio Network each and every day, Monday through Friday, as Grandpa Coyote and our angelic and ancestral friends, a few of our family from all across the universe, join in to help us really rock our heart out so we can expand into what we're all about and be the reality of truth that we are, and put an end to this dynasty of silliness, you know. I mean, you got to think about it. In love, there can be no Nazi imperialism. In love, there can be no harming of the earth in any way. She loves us enough that we could never play it that way. But see, we've taken a burden on ourselves and unblessed ourselves and thought, oh my God, we killed the earth. And in some ways we have killed off that cruelty of our own heart. And she was willing to play a part right along with us, this Mother Earth, which she did, and rather well, too. I've often described it as a reality around a reality around a reality, and so forth, you know, as far as the Earth's presence itself is concerned. So the Earth we live on actually is an outer layer of an inner thing in another sense, in another way. And as we warm up, just like Antarctica's doing, well, baby, the sun dissolves away the idea of division, or that anything here in this universe could be harmful to us in any way. Oh, the lies that have been at play here to make you fear that which would help you get clear. Your reconnection, your reassociation with the universal heart that lives in everyone, all across the planetary, galactic, and universal realities, and beyond that into the other universes, because there's a lot of them, babies. We're one tiny little bauble on the tree, but we're significantly placed. Babies, we're the first one you see when you step in that door to see the holiday tree, the tree of life in motion. Now you know why we kind of appreciate Sacred Mary J, man, because she helps us see it that way, the mother's way, the mother heart, the mother replication inside of every presence that lives. Especially these male presences, guys. It's time to give it up. And you know what I mean. That which is so desperate and alone that it would crowd itself in on another in an abusive sort of way. Let's say, I mean, that's a light description of it. That happens pretty much on all levels, really. That's what binds a man to a woman, is that old way. That hunger, that, mama, 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 mama. Yeah, I often say that when you're making out, don't you? Mama, see? It's what you're desiring. Well, mama's inside of you. Look at the replications on you. Know the mother love inside yourself. And just like the Arctic ice which is melting away, a true vision will come clear from your heart, dear. The reality of the truthful life you're living. And baby, you'll be loving it just like I do, because I love you and you are me too. And in that love we are free. On a free day Friday, baby. See, I told you it was a cruise, man. Now ain't you glad you cut loose and got over here and got your absorption of coyote medicine for the day and the great weekend coming up, babies. Ooh, I tell you, it's just nothing but exponential between now and the full moon. Oh, and beyond that too, of course, if time continues. I think we're just about out of time. Who needs it, man? We got the seasons and the reasons. Let's make this a real springtime in the Rockies and step beyond our time and live as if we are that which is divine in creation. That simple baby love. Oh my goodness, golly. Mercy me. Lots more coyote medicine coming up here on the Coyote Medicine Show. But Pink Floyd got to take us and help us get it clear, babies. Ooh. Rock us, Raja, please. Roger, Roger, Roger.
So people get ready for the train to join.